So, YouTube will not ban my channel. If I turn into a demon, it would not ban my channel. As a matter of fact, like, I don't think that they understood that what is meant by the diamond, right? The daemon. It's mind. And remember when I said man became physical, man was mind and spirit becoming physical in the ethereal waters of noon. It's genetic encoding. Um, you could look at this body and say that um, a length of spinal column has been atrophied, and you're walking around with cancer. Cancer is shit. Shit is not bad. You know, shit is good. You know, it's the rejuvenation of organic material. You know, and I'm not saying like the Matrix, like you're being eating reconstituted people or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like that's animation. That's reanimation. Like Frankenstein. And Frankenstein is highly metaphorical. Like it's actually real. You know. I couldn't understand Mary Shelley. Very, very difficult read. Impossible. I gave up. I just think that if I get, you know, where I want to be, then I'll have books so that I can just blindly open them up to some whatever page and everything. Since my notebook became real, it's probably what I'm gonna do anyway. Uh, so I've broken all of YouTube's terms of services. I've been out here making threats, you know. And since YouTube is a conglomerate, a company, you know, like it's not the natural living man. So I didn't break any laws. You know, if I said I'm gonna rip your head off, it's not threats. You know, what are you gonna do? You're only one man. You know, what are you gonna do with a gun? You know, you know. But I mean, we all have the opportunity to be used by the higher self or the daemon to for the purpose of effication and bonding for the purpose of amour and bonding, effication, enhancements. Oh, that okay, enhancements. That's why you make a talisman with your semen and everything. I know what's up. I know what it is. I haven't really figured out what you're actually supposed to do with menstrual blood, but I don't believe that you should mix it with Merlot. I don't think you should start toting it around in a Chianti baggie, you know, like unless you're really old and brittle and you're dying, then if you have Vestal virgins, if you're you know on the onto some other shit, then why not, you know? But as far as like being weird and shit and like trying to get high, oh my god, isn't that all it is? You scandalous, so scandalous, so scandalous. How you just want to because you know, like with spirit cooking and everything going on. They're talking about milk and semen. You know, milk from the Bible before you get onto like bread of the gospel. You get milk. So these motherfucking 1 + 1 = 2. They don't know that I can explain how it's 3. You know, like that's simple. Yeah, do that shit by accident, and then I recognized it. What are you talking about? It's so dumb. Like okay, I understand. Like it's trauma, you know. But Like you only deserve therapy if you're the natural living man, or if you have a chromosome that expresses itself as a gene that acts like a plant. Because there's people out here acting, you know. There's actors out here. People out here acting, you know. Yo, I mean, I I heard something today. It was very suggestive, you know. And I wonder why. Well, you know what it is? It's because you make inference points with friends or people that you've made relationships along the way. If some of them were into, or say, liked uh, black satanic black devotion, or what's a good one? Like I don't know. I'm not good for remembering jokes, and when I'm not good for remembering like you know, something to look up, like, or anything. But the black metal, the blacky metal. Uh, so they're saying like people that listen to this blacky metal are not really um uh, their hearts or minds are not in the wrong place or anything like that, but they are subvertible and targeted, right? Well, you know, given that good advice is doing the opposite of what people that you're consistently abhorred by, that fucking practice lethargy when with a little, when you understand that you're not really believable if you're fully lethargical, then lethargy is like in a sense you detect it when it's with a little, that you would want to do what they recommend is good advice. You know, like why would you start suddenly taking their advice? And are they making a mistake by showing all their cards? Because if um, they're going through their complete uh, repertoire of tricks, and they're going through every strategy and every tactic, right? That they will exhaust. They'll exhaust every tactic. That means the tree's already dead. You know, and we're still looking at it like it's a sturdy, it's thick, you know. But I mean, then go climb it. Then I mean, start build a swing, and you take you swing so that you get so high and so high and so high that I feel like a lame-o, or that somebody should feel like uh, they're walking blindly into an ambush or something like that. It's just you know, within any genre of music, you're gonna find a lot of music that you don't really resonate with. And I've looked into and been a connoisseur of every genre, and I noticed, you know, especially with Northern Soul, like there's so much Northern Soul that I don't care about. Really don't care about. But I mean, I could say that I love Northern Soul. Harry Wygum, or what's it? Uh, what's his name? But anyways, it's a funny thing to me. You know, like they look like they're in the gymnasium, like for PE, or like they're like what's it called? They're like athletic. It's calisthenics. It's calisthenics. All right. I'll give you some more examples. I didn't really like the most famous people in the soca. like the most like well-known soca artist. I didn't really like, but who's the ballet? Is it Noradine? I like Noradine. Noradine, like Noradine. I like. Okay. But I mean, there's only two songs. Um, there's a couple more. It's just been that I'm into so much. I forget so much. You know. My interest is expansive, and it's just I forget like because I really go whole ham. Like so, I've been look at there's no compunction for me. You know, like I like what's this uh I forget her name. Damn, that sucks. Well, I liked. Well, see, there's some songs that are a bridge between genres, right? Like so, damn, my memory's bad. Um, what's that? We didn't find it there, but we moved on. Song, and it's a duet. Uh, Alaska, something. But there was no gold there. It's damn. Okay, but anyways, on to whatever. Like a lot of I took everything from YouTube. Everything. Bushcraft. You know what I mean? Like the primitive technology. You know, you could set up your own campus. You could start by making your own shoes and splitting a rock to make axe and go on to. How's your kiln work? You have to start with a mud thatch roof hut, and then you just um, start building a chimney. And your chimney turns into other side projects. And then you start pulling up or yellow slime from the creek bed that has oxidized iron. Like it's like you start making pellets and shit. Like you basically just set everything back up again. You know, it's the natural living man. If you can agree that taxation is legalized theft, then there has to be a place for the natural living man to practice bushcraft. You know, I mean, there's people that are willing to waive insurance and all sorts of things to be able to aggregate out of certain um, necess- um, acts or behaviors that are a necessity for survival that you want to discontinue. You know, you have to start by aggregating it out of in the psyche. You have to make an impression on your psyche, but eventually you want to take yourself out of the use of money, because then men can get together and they can bring a note, and they can sign papers with other men, basically transcribe a note into a bill and pass the buck to somebody that didn't ever have to depend on money, and they could be mad because you gave them a bill, and it's a rebate, and so they have to exchange the rebate for services, and the bill means that you owe goods. You already understand what I mean. You're cognizant, and you need to create debt. So how to get people to owe services? How to get people to owe services? How does it? What's that? You get the look, like um, a note is legal tender for um, goods and services, right? Well, now I have a bill and I don't have any goods, and I don't want to give up what that is that goes without, being any asset to myself, like, because I still have to get that, whatever those things are. So I have to get people to owe services. It's debt, you know. So they collect taxes based off of your rebate. You can't collect taxes off of a debt. You collect taxes from a rebate when you make an exchange, when you go to the agora, you know, when you go to the mall. You know, I'm not saying a mall at the mall, like a serial mauler at the mall is you know, gonna put on a strap on or something like that. Um, it's actually Kushner that they know about. You know, when you push through. So what happens when people realize that they're slaving and sweating for that which will inevitably bring you to the mall, right? And at the mall you don't find anything. You never find anything at the mall. They make you think that you found something. You know, even if you go there to see a movie, they'll probably show you some mystified, like um, metaphysical information. You know, they'll probably talk to your subconscious and tell you about the chakra story, and you'll know what they mean, but they're talking to your subconscious, and the subconscious is overpower you with symbolism. It's like hundreds of thousands of times more powerful than the waking conscious. The waking conscious is a hater. when the mice, when the cats are away, the mice will play. You know, but so if I am not, if I can't get kicked off of YouTube, I might as well drop science, because you know, not that I come up with this shit on the natch, and that I have it, yo. Like I told you, it's totemisms. You know, somebody told me and I told you. But I'd rather do that. You know, I'd rather do that than you know what. You know. Okay, so I don't know. I'm not feeling drowsy, but I look drowsy, so I'm gonna take that as my cue. That it's Huckleberry Hound.